Hi guys, and welcome back to Trev's Travels by Narrowboat. Well, after last Wednesday's video, and I want to thank everybody for their support, it did raise a few questions, which I will come to shortly. But first of all, I want to let you all know, I know some of you like following my cooking videos, and some of you absolutely hate them. That's why I moved them off of this channel. But I'd like to let you know that my first cooking video will be out tomorrow. Yes, Thursday the 28th of January will be my first cooking video on cooking on a narrowboat, my sister channel, or brother channel. I'll put along the bottom the actual name of the channel, and I'll put the link in the description below. So if you want the link, it's in the description below. If not, just type in cooking on a narrowboat and I'm pretty sure you'll find it. Well, let's get back to last week's video. Yes, it did raise a few eyebrows, I know, but I think most people that have known me for a long time knew how I feel and how I felt about certain things. But the biggest question that did come up was, when did you realise this? So I just watched somebody walk past my boat. I do have the curtains drawn, but the shadows were coming in the boat. Anyway, back to the topic. Well, I realised that I wasn't perhaps mainstream when I was 11 or 12 years old. And it was probably before that, actually. But when I was about 11 or 12 years old, local vicar came to me, my parents or whatever, and it was suggested that I should confirm my faith, which I refused to do. It did cause a little bit of awkwardness at the time, but I stuck to my guns and refused to do it. I had too many questions that nobody was willing to try and answer. So I just didn't continue with mainstream religion basically from there onwards, unless I was pushed into it. That leads me to a few other little stories to go with that. I used to enjoy fishing on the River Diva, a little river which ran very close to where we lived. But it became a bit awkward to fish because the lady who owned the stretch of river, very nice old lady, don't get me wrong, was very much a churchgoer. And if I wished to fish her stretch of river, which she let me do quite happily, no problems at all, basically though, I had to go to church on a Sunday morning to go fishing. This sort of hit a bit hard for me, but one has to do what one has to do, I guess. And I reluctantly went to church on some Sunday mornings just so I could go fishing, because I had to ask her if I could go fishing after the church service. You know, the fishing thing and all that apart, I didn't like being blackmailed basically to do things that I wanted to do. Anyway, but well before this, I realised that I had some perhaps connection. Not connection, that's the wrong word. But I felt I had feelings outside the normal realm of what was called religion. My parents took me to Stonehenge years and years ago. Now I'm going back to the days when you pulled up on the side of the road, climbed through the fence, and we sat down and had a picnic on the stones. Not ran by the National Trust, no big tunnel going underneath the road, huge car park the other side. None of that existed. And I remember being there one day, and I remember this very vividly, and I couldn't have been more than perhaps 5 years old at the time. I sat on these stones. I don't know what I felt. I can't recall exactly what I felt when I was 5 years old, but it felt right. I really enjoyed being there at Stonehenge, which I have visited quite a few times since. But after I'd moved out of the family home and was either living on my own or with ex-wives, I went there a couple of times or so, a few times actually, and really felt at home at Stonehenge. Stonehenge wasn't the only place I really enjoyed going to. Avebury Ring, not very far away from Stonehenge, in the later days I actually really felt a great connection with. I would go there and you could touch the stones still. I think you still can today, rather than being kept 100 yards away from them, walking around in a circle like Stonehenge. Stonehenge has lost its appeal to me. It's now just a tourist trap. But Avebury Ring you can go to, walk around the standing stones. Okay, it's not as impressive as Stonehenge, one big ring of circles. The stones are distances apart, and there's some huge old earthworks there, some big ditches and all. But walking around there, it really feels special, what it does to me. Yes, and I also remember when I was on holiday with my parents years ago, we went to Carnac standing stones in France. I think that's what they're called. I think it's spelled Carnac. And I felt at home there as well. There's some huge rings of stones there that go on for miles. These places are special to me. I do not consider myself a druid or anything such like, but I do feel some connection with the ancient worlds, shall we say. I feel more at home with them. I think because they're real. They're places you can go and feel, touch and see. Just like how I feel when I'm on the river, canal or whatever, sat down fishing. I'm in the real world, places I can feel, touch and see. These places really bring home to me what I love. You know, I can sit on a fallen down tree in the middle of the forest and just let my mind wander around, clear my mind even, and it really makes me feel happy. Unlike a lot of people that need people around them, I don't. I can go off on my own and sit in the middle of a forest, looking at the trees, listening to the birds, and I'm in my element. These times are some of my happiest times and moments in life. So I don't like people, can't say I dislike people. I just don't need people around me all the time to enjoy life, unlike some people do. I don't feel any loneliness on the boat whatsoever. If I feel the need to talk to somebody, I can stand on the back deck and talk to the next person that walks by. Most people will say hello at least. Living on the boat on my own brings me to a world that I quite enjoy. I can quite happily sit here, gazing out of the window, looking at basically nothing. The same view. I've had the same view out of this window over here for the last, 15 weeks. Do I mind? No, I don't. It changes every day. Besides the tree surgeons coming along and chopping down half the trees, but that obviously changed the view and the outlook. But just looking at the season changes. Snow on the ground out there at the moment, as you can see. So the view changes every day. The sounds change every day. We now have the winter birds around, and I put a little bit of bread out sometimes for the birds out on the towpath side. Robins come along, blackbirds, thrushes, tits. Quite a variety of different birds come and pick up the bread. And I can watch them for hours. It's just something that I really enjoy doing. I'm not a Twitter or tweeter or whatever it's called. No, a twitcher. I'm not a twitcher. I don't go out with my binoculars, which I do have a pair of binoculars, by the way, looking specifically, going bird watching. But when they're around me, I'm going to watch them. Just as I watched deer sometimes walk by when I'm out in the middle of nowhere. So these are the things that I relate to and I really love. I love being out in the wilderness. Well, not so much wilderness. I love being out in the countryside. I love watching sunrises and sunsets. I love watching animals in the springtime, in the mating season, the calls and the different noises they make at different times of the year. I can relate to all of that. And I think that makes me a much better person for whom I am. This is why people will call me sometimes that are having problems in life. They know they can talk to me. I may not say anything to them, but they can unload whatever they want to say to me, and I will sit there and listen. I think I have this ability to listen because I love listening to nature. I love listening to the birds and the wildlife around me. Anyway, that's just a bit more of a sum up of me and my life and things I love. I'm thinking about doing a question and answer sort of short video next week. I've been asked quite a few questions, which I haven't really fully answered in the comments section. I answer them, but other people might really want to know these answers to these questions as well. And I know most people don't read through all the comments. I know there are a few of you that do, but a lot don't. So I want to do a little question and answer. Please email me at trevstravels.bynarrowboat@gmail.com. Ask me almost anything. Anyway, that's for next week. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and click the like button. And don't forget to click the old bell notification as well. That way YouTube will notify you every time I upload a new video. And yes, tomorrow there should be a cooking video up as well. It's not uploaded yet. I have to have internet, of course, to be there. And internet sat here at the moment is a little bit dodgy, shall we say. Anyway, that brings me to the end of this video. That just leaves me to say thank you very much for watching. Trevor out.